tonight against Celtic. It's one that we've been talking about for quite some time. I don't know if there's any way to big it up more than it's already been bigged up at this point, gents. I am, of course, joined by my usual cohorts in Sean Conley and Kevin McCluskey. Gents, something dawned on me as I was getting everything set up for the stream tonight. It's been just over a year since I joined Acsom. In this season, it's been a privilege to have this European campaign that we've had. And for most of the games that I've either joined or hosted, you guys have been on. So it was making me think a little bit like the band on the Titanic. So if this is the last song in Europe tonight, guys, all I want to say is it's been a privilege up to this point. But there's 90 minutes for us to keep the ship afloat, right? So all we've got to do is get through this 90 minutes, keep our discipline, and I'm loving the positivity that's coming through. I'm loving the Prime coverage. I've just seen our own Acsom on Prime giving his views on Henrik Larsson, the one, the only, the legend. And we need to channel some of that tonight. Sean, I'll come to you first before I bring up the lineup. But how are you feeling about tonight, generally?
I'm actually not too nervous about it because it's the odds are they're stacked against us last week and they're even more stacked against us this week. So if we do pull something off tonight, it'll be the biggest result since 1967, but I'm not expecting it, and I'm not hoping for it, even to the level of hoping for it. I guess I'm technically dreaming about it, because I was literally dreaming about it like 10 minutes ago before I woke up. Yeah, I had a dream that we were like 1-0 up after a few minutes and held it till half time, but then I woke up and came on to chat to you guys, so I can't tell you how the game finishes, unfortunately. But that's pretty much what it is, right? It would be a dream to be able to achieve something like that. I've seen the Bayern Munich lineup as well, and it's like, yeah, well, they're taking this seriously. All the half-injured players are starting, or the fitness doubts. There's no sports science sitting them out. So my expectations are like realistic. I was going to say low, but I think realistic is a fairer term. Yeah, but there's a non-zero chance we pull something off here, and we're here for it if it happens.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, look, these are the kind of teams we wanted to play when we got to this competition. We want to show that we can compete. I think the first leg, we showed that we belong here, Kev. There was no disgrace in the way we played. There was no disgrace, certainly, in the result. And the big objective, as both the manager have said and several, pundits and past luminaries of the club have said, it's about giving yourself something to hold on to in terms of the tie coming into the second leg. Now, look, I think we'll be realistic. 5 minutes in, we could be 3 goals down, or 10 minutes in, we could be a goal up. It's anything can happen in a game of football, and I think having that belief is the right of every football fan. Albeit, we'll be here at half time and at full time, irrespective of the performance, the result, and we'll try and break it down as objectively as we can. But certainly, I don't know about you, Kev, but I'm starting to feel excited, crossed with a healthy dose of anxiety at this point. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I think I'm quite relaxed about this one, to be fair. Partly because I think I share quite a lot of Sean's thoughts on it as well. At the weekend when Paul John was asking us for the kind of predictions, there's always the wee bit of bravado that comes out, and of course we'll go over there, we'll get the result, we'll sneak a 2-0 and we'll get through. Realistically, that's probably not going to happen because we are up against one of the top sides in the competition. As I was saying the weekend, it's a side that regularly makes the quarterfinals of this competition, that probably has a minimum expectation to reach the semis, and they want to go in and win it. And they're one of the few clubs in Europe that can probably genuinely say at the start of every season that that's a realistic ambition for them. So that's the calibre of opposition that we're up against tonight. And so, yeah, I go into this one quite relaxed about our chances in the sense, because I don't expect too much from it. But that said, the point of this game is that we're still in it. Had we got thumped, or not even thumped, lost 2-0, if we hadn't got that goal, if it'd been 3-1 in the first leg, then I think you're going into this one thinking it's probably already over. But it's only 2-1. we do have a chance if we can somehow manage to keep it tight. I mean, I'm looking at that front four that Munich's got as well, and it's a frightening prospect. You know, Gnabry, Musiala, Olise, Kane. That's four names you don't really want to see bearing down on you. But if we can somehow keep them quiet, as Leverkusen did at the weekend, then the footballing gods might just shine upon us, and we might be able to sneak something. So I'll be positively optimistic. That's exactly the same thing. I will be cautiously optimistic. That's what I was
Cautiously
going to say.
optimistic.
Yes, I'll be cautiously optimistic about our chances, while having that enveloped in a big dose of realism as well that says we'll probably not get the win that we want to see. But if we can put in a good performance, one where we do go toe to toe for as long as we possibly can in this game and give a good account of ourselves, you know, as long as we're not coming away discussing another Dortmund type result, I think we can all leave with a bit of respect about this one.
Absolutely, I think that's the main fear. It's not even necessarily the loss; it's just the manner of defeat. Should it go that way? So yeah, fingers crossed. Let's take a look at the team then that's been selected to do the job tonight. So, familiar looking lineup, but a couple of changes there, and some that have been spoken about not only within the Acsom community but in the wider support as well. And I think largely met with a lot of positivity. So I'll run through them and then get your thoughts, guys. So we've got Kasper Schmeichel in goal. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Alistair Johnson playing right back. Then we've got Carter Vickers and Trusty as a centre back pairing. First, maybe surprise of the night, we've got Jeff Schlupp taking up the left back berth. A lot of people calling for that, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. The captain, Callum McGregor, holding that midfield alongside Arne Engels and Rio Hatate. And then a forward line, again, the other surprise tonight. The manager has gone for Nicholas Kuhn on the left, Jota on the right, and Dyson Maeda up front. We'll quickly run through the bench. So we've got Sinisalo, Bain, or Benzo, as he has to be known on Acsom circles. Greg Taylor, Liam Scales, Adam Ida, maybe a little bit unfortunate to be left out tonight, but I think he'll play a big part. Yang could also have a say late in the game. McCowan, Nawrocki, who would have thought he'd still be on the bench at this point? Johnny Kenny, Dane Murray, Ralston, and Jude Bonner. I think it's Jude Bonner that's there. So, Sean, we'll talk about the first talking point amongst the team selections. So, Jeff Schlupp in for Greg Taylor. Is that a surprise to you, and what can we expect from Jeff?
It actually is, yeah. I thought Rodgers would have expected Taylor to be able to, execute his system a bit better, but I guess he's gone with Schlupp for his physical prowess, his pace, his strength. And he did well, pretty well, defending, at least last week when he came on against Bayern Munich. He did well offensively and defensively at the weekend against Wraith. And I think it's probably not a coincidence that if you think back 6 days ago, in fact, it wasn't even that long ago, the two players that get hooked off in the first leg against Bayern Munich and not given a cuddle, I guess is a way to say it, as they came off the park, would have been Greg Taylor and Adam Ida. So I think that ends up being prophetic of what's happening tonight. And I guess I didn't actually expect that, but there it is. He's seen it last week and he said, well, we've only got one more chance, so I'm just going to go with not what I need to keep a squad happy, but what I think is given us instead of a 0.1% chance of winning, a 0.2% chance, or whatever way you want to look at it. Double our chances of winning. Yep. I think that's what's going on here.
Well, it's hopefully it's an indication of strong management and that he has got his eye on the prize. That's certainly the hope. Kev, going further down the team, I mean, midfield probably doesn't throw up too many surprises. I think, are you pretty comfortable with the midfield of Kalmak, Engels and Hatate? Is that who you would have picked?
Yes, it is. I don't really think there's another option really that we could have gone for. McCowan's the player on the bench that will come on, I'm sure. But as a starting three, I went with the three that we've gone with. Callum as the captain, I think obviously one of the first names on the team sheet every week. We will need a leader's performance from him this evening. We've seen at times he struggles in some of the bigger games, and sometimes that can be due to the players around him not playing to their potential as well, but we'll need him to be on it. And it's the leadership qualities from him more than anything tonight, rather than even what he does on the ball. It's just being able to keep the players around him calm and composed and get them to stick to what they're supposed to be doing. So he'll be massive for us tonight. I think Engel suits a game like this. He's used to playing in Germany. He'll have played at the Allianz Arena before. He'll have come up against these players previously before last week as well. And he'll have something to prove. So I think this is a big game for him. And at set plays, I think he's a guy that could definitely make a difference for us. His delivery from corners is very dangerous, and we could be relying on something like that tonight. And then Rio's the guy that's in there just to give us that wee bit of unpredictability. We always talk about him. It's the risk and reward, and we could play a very good game tonight and not concede. But if we don't score, we don't go through. So we're going to need somebody to maybe take that risk for us every now and again. And Rio's the man that does it. He can unlock defences. I would say that had Paulo Bernardo been fit, I might have been tempted to put him in ahead of Rio for this game, because I do sometimes find that his risk reward veers a wee bit too much over to the side of risk, and we don't always get the reward. But that's the three the manager's gone for. It's the strongest three for the night, and I'll give them all my backing and support for this one because they're going to need it.
Absolutely, no, I would agree with that. I think it's the one element to the lineup so far is it's very much a statement of intent from the manager. The fact that Hatate is playing, because we do need someone that can unlock that defence, and we need to be creating chances for that front three. Sean, I'll come to you on that. Again, it's the second big talking point. We can get Kev's thoughts on it as well, because I think it is one of the bigger talking points. So Maeda plays through the middle tonight. No Aramida, who has been on goal scoring form as recently as the weekend. We have Kuhn, who's been one of the top players this season, and we know that he's got moments of absolute magic and genius in him. And Jota, depending on how you want to say him, not Jota, the way I was denigrated for saying early on, but Jota or Jota. He's starting to bring that quality that we so missed when he left. Now every game he seems to be getting better and better, sharper and sharper. It's a potent attacking line, but they will need support from the midfield. But would you have gone with Maeda tonight, or would you have stuck with Ida?
I definitely would have gone with Maeda. And look, Ida will play his part. That front three is not going to finish the game. So Yang will come on the pitch as well at some point. That's like, the fact that we're playing Maeda signals an intent, and that intent is we're going to press. And it's not. It doesn't mean all out gung ho press. It means part of our game plan is to press as a team, and for Maeda to be one of the key triggers in that press. The only thing I would say is, and is pre-match yesterday, or was it? I can't remember. Maybe it was 2 days ago. Rodgers was talking about Jota starting as someone with the ability, who was in there to really for ball retention and something a bit special. What Jota's not in for is to be a key pressing figure. I don't think he specifically referenced that and saying that he's still building up his physicality in order to be that pressing figure that he needs. So he somewhat explicitly said that Jota is not in there for the press. So there's a little bit of a contradiction there, but I think it's just players that are needed for two different aspects. Maeda in for the pressing game and Jota in for the ball protection retention game. Because let's be honest, we're not going to have the majority of the ball. So when we do have it, we need to get out, we need to pick it up, and we need to be clinical with it, and that's why he's in there. So there's a potential argument where if you were really focusing on the fact that you were doing a hard press, you might say Yang should be in there, or even have two up front with Ida and Maeda. I don't know. There's lots of different ways to skin a cat, as I say, but I think at the end of the day, he's gone with Maeda for that forward pressure, and he's gone with the Jota for the quality in the lineup.
Absolutely, and we've seen with Jota in recent games, he's actually gone back and done a fair amount of defensive duty, and actually, he was part of that great build up to the goal a few weeks ago, where he started it right from the back and helping out in that left back position. So he's added I think, an element to his game that we didn't see all too often in his first stint is that defensive ability. So yeah, hopefully he can do the business at both ends of the park tonight, Kev. Your thoughts on that forward three? Is that a surprise to you? Would you have mixed it up or gone different? Are we losing something by taking Maeda out the wing, or can, as we just said, can Jota pick that up?
Again, for me, I think the front three is the three I would have gone for. Actually, if I go through the whole 11, that's the 11 I would have picked for the game. So when you came to Sean earlier on and you asked the question about Schlupp being in there, was it a surprise that he's there? Probably yes, because Rodgers tends to go with Taylor for these games. But am I happier to see Schlupp than Taylor for this game? Absolutely, because I think he just adds. He adds a couple extra inches at the back, and we saw that at the weekend. There was that, as I was saying, that ball that goes into the left back area. He won it a few times where Taylor wouldn't. It's the one that was caught out last week. So he's there to prevent things like that. And I think he's shown in his time with us that he's pretty decent on the ball and in good positionally going forward. So happy with the back line, happy with the midfield that we've talked about, and the front three for me is the strongest front three that we've got. So, excuse me. So if you're going into a game and you want to play a strongest starting 11, that's the one for me. And Maeda through the middle, I think proved last Wednesday that when he went there, he made a big difference. He's huge for us on the left because of that press, and he works wonders for us there. But doing that through the middle as well, when he's harrying the two centre backs, he's harrying the keeper all the time. He doesn't give anyone in that centre space time on the ball. And Munich's a team that wants to play it from the back more often than not. So although they play in a competitive league and a physical league, and they're probably used to having players close them down, no one does it quite like Daisen Maeda does in world football. Like he's got all the stats. He leads them off for that. So I think having him there, it is a signal of intent that we're going to press them from the front, and we'll do it from the beginning. And he'll lead by the example there. Having Jota on the left just gives you a wonderful football player who's got so much ability. I genuinely don't think it's an overstatement to say that he's a player that could probably fit in the Bayern Munich team, or in the squad at least, if he's not getting in the starting 11, because he's that kind of player. He's a flair player that can hurt defences. But I will pick you up on your point, though, that we didn't see too much of him defending in his first spell. There were games, and there's one that me and Paul was going about against St Mirren, and in his second season under Ange, he's the one that fights back to win the ball.
I do remember that.
Scores a dirty goal. So I think that was something that he'd put in his game before he left us, and he's definitely brought it back. So we've got a more complete player than the one that we signed the first time around, but he's the same player almost that left us. So again, like I say, cautiously optimistic with the players that we've got, that if we do get a chance, we can cause them problems. We just need to be clinical every time we get in, because that every time won't be too many times. It'll be one or two per half, and we need to take the chances when we get them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I do remember that particular match where it was felt that Jota got a little bit of a rocket up the backside to go and improve his defensive side. So you're right, he did. That's something that hopefully he learned at his first spell with us, and he's developed it, and he's certainly applying it in his first few appearances. So hopefully we'll get more of that tonight. I do want to bring in some of the comments just to get a feeling from the guys on the stream. So as you would expect, I think Jungle Hound was on this about that was about 6:47. So he's been on it for a good hour. Definitely one of the, the most loyal viewers of Acsom. So bold team selection, Chris, absolutely. And
did you pick the team, Chris? Seeing you picked it.
I told you, Brendan's on the phone all the time. You know, I just tell him what I think. That's all. No. The restraining order is very much in place. But I think I think it was your point earlier, Kevin. Almost everybody that was in the Acsom group chat was like, "Yes, that's the lineup we wanted. That is the selection that we were looking for." But we're also very, very aware that if it all goes wrong tonight, we're going to feel a little bit sheepish. You know, so that's so I'm hoping, but. Look, you hedge your bets, right? You hedge your bets on seeing these players. So hopefully they do the business. Jungle, you're back in again. Let's enjoy the ride.
Unless it goes terribly wrong and it's Dortmund wrong, I don't think we should be that sheepish, because you've got to look at the quality of the players we're up against as well. So it's about, if they can go out and just give it their best, really play to the top level that they possibly can. If we lose 2 or 3-0, that's so be it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. Ewan Boy Martin comes in. Hail, hail, troops. Hail, hail to you as well, sir. Barry O'Sullivan, evening troops. Can't wait for this. Don't know why, but I really feel we're going to do something incredible tonight. Can't believe I'm saying this, but going for a 3-1 win to the boys. Hail, hail. Good on you, Barry. Yeah, that would be fantastic. And your second point, yeah, best team we would have on the pitch, pace and skill everywhere. Let's get at them. Ian Corbett comes in to talk about Acsom on Prime. Yeah, boys everywhere at the moment. You can't. Every time you switch on TV, he's there, but good on him. He's doing a fantastic job. Very, very proud of him. God, I sounded a lot like Alex Ferguson there. That was bad. Marquis comes in and said, "This is a type of game pros dream of playing in." Yeah, I agree with that, Mark. I think you almost feel like this is a game where the team talk, writes itself. I mean, if you can't get yourself motivated for tonight, then you're in the wrong profession, right? Absolutely. Patrick Doherty, I love that. Very, very theatrical. Now is the hour. Cometh the hour, cometh the men. Absolutely. Joe Hamilton, come on, you boys in green. We can get something tonight. I mean, hopefully we can get a win, Joe. That's what we're after. Corncelt comes in and says that's the best team selection Brendan could have made for definite. I think that seems to be the general consensus. I'm not hearing too many people disagreeing with that. Jock Sporring comes in. That's the lineup I wanted to see. Me as well. David Logan, morning, gents. I'm not sure. I can't tell from that flag where you are, David, but yeah, you must be similar to Sean, some different time zone part of the world. So good morning to you, indeed.
Is that St. Kitts?
It might have been actually, yeah. It looked like one of the Caribbean islands, not sure. Maeda through the middle from Donny Tiny Hands, absolutely, yeah, pleased at that. And I love this one, 573v13. So Tommy will conduct the Miracle in Munich from Paradise. Come on, you boys in green. Obviously, alluding to the great Tommy Burns. And actually, I'm going to bring this one up as well because I do really like this. The Miracle of München. So we ring to it. The Miracle in Munich would be outstanding. You just see the DVDs now, can't you? Miracle in Munich would be amazing. Let's take a very quick look at the Bayern team, see what we're up against tonight. A very ominous lineup as we would expect. So Manuel Neuer and goal, Upamecano and Min Jae. He comes in for Eric Dyer from the last game. He's a 6'3" South Korean defender, 28 years old. I think he was signed for about 60 million euros from Napoli. So a bit of a player. I think if I'm right, Guerrero plays at left back as well. Then we've got Kimmich and Goretzka, that man mountain Goretzka. Looks like a prime Johan Mjauby in his day with that physique. We've also got Serge Gnabry coming in. He came on as a substitute late in the last game. Harry Kane, big danger man up front. Olise, who scored that wonderful goal. We really need Schlupp to be on him. Of course, former teammates at Crystal Palace. Musiala, the next big thing, I think, coming out of German football. Expected to get a big move to one of the top leagues, whether it be Spain or the English Premier League this season, and Stanisic making up the lineup there. So it's ominous, gents, when you look at those names, and they've got some big names on the bench as well. We've really got to be on a game tonight. I mean, how important is it that we not only keep our discipline tonight, Sean, but we also show that attacking intent? And would you expect to see us go attacking early on in the game, or is it more important that we try and maintain the scoreline, limit the damage, and then look for opportunities later in the game? How do you think we'll approach it?
Yeah, it's a tough one to figure out, actually. I think a lot of it's going to come down to not even just what, some of those players are quite good, most of them will get into the Celtic team. So I don't think there's going to be... I don't want to use the word pragmatism because it's kind of become a meme, like a parody of itself now. So it's not that really, but it's going to be the performance is going to be based on the experience that this squad is developed, as in, respond to the moments within the game. Have the nous to know when to press as a team. Have the nous to know when you need to sit and be patient and defend your box. Know when it's okay to give up the wide area. Know not to let Olise come inside in space. All sorts of stuff like that. We did a good job against Musiala last week. Didn't do a good job against Olise. So let's hope that gets flipped around. Gnabry didn't start. He's starting this week. So we'll see. Yeah, look, chances are slim, but being here right now is a measure of success for the season. So I think we don't even know going into it what a measure of success will be on the night. But I think if we can get a goal, if we can stay in it and compete, then that's probably a measure of success. And I don't think it would be a disaster if we do lose by a couple. I think that's kind of what's expected, really. So yeah, it's a ridiculous team, the Bayern Munich team. So yeah, let's hope for the best, and we'll see how we go and see where we're at as a squad.
Absolutely. We are getting very close to kick-off. I can see the team starting to come out here. Quite enjoying the Amazon Prime coverage, I have to admit. It's pretty good. And it was great to see feature on Henry Kelly, as mentioned. Kev, I'm going to come to you first, sir. What's your expectations for the match? And then I'll get a wee prediction off you.
Yeah, expectations are, I think it's going to be backs to the wall for 90 minutes. Because you've just put that team up and look at that front four that we were speaking about, like Gnabry, German international, Musiala, German international, Olise, I think was French under 21, I think, Kane,
Yep.
German, English international,
Careful.
I think top goal scorer for England. Can't get those two mixed up, eh? And then if it's not working for them, then they've got Leroy Sané and Kingsley Coman to come off the bench. So it's an embarrassment of riches, kind of, that we're going to face from them going forward. So I think it's going to be a tough game. I think they will want to come out and maybe right or wrong that they'll feel from last week, because I think they expected to win by a more comfortable margin. They were very disappointing at the weekend against Leverkusen, so I'm pretty sure Company will have been going through them in the last couple of days, telling them that he'll expect a performance tonight. So I think it'll be tough for us. Not the same level of opposition, but we have gone to Atalanta, who were one of the best attacking teams in the Italian game, and managed to keep a clean sheet. So we need to draw upon that kind of performance again, I think, defensively. And then just take our chances if and when we get them going forward. So I think it'll be a tough game, very tough game. Like Sean said, if we were to lose the game by 2 or 3-0 or by 2 or 3 goals, I don't think that's an embarrassment. I think that's kind of what's expected to come from this game. But you just never know, do you? I mean, we might be able to pull a rabbit out the hat.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. And prediction from you, Kev, what's your scoreline?
Oh, I think the honest one is something like 3-1, 4-1 Bayern Munich. But I'm more Celtic-minded. Positive one will be 1-0 Celtic after 90 minutes, and then we'll beat them 2-0 in extra time.
I love it. All right, I'm going to bring up a couple of comments, and I'm going to get your prediction, Sean. I'm bringing this one up because I was trying so hard not to laugh as I was reading this. It's nervy because, like a middle-aged man's love life, Bayern can finish this in 20 minutes, but if this tie is alive in the second half, Bayern will start to feel that in their minds and bodies. Brilliant. Not sure about the initial analogy, but good point, well made. Shell Tick 67, I love that username. Come on, you boys in green, give it your all. Hail, hail. This one's quite poignant. David Gall comes in. Rest in peace, Jimmy Martin. Of course, was known for being one of the few genuine old actors on Still Game. David said he used to see him at the Celtic games a few years ago, and indeed, yeah, everyone from Acsom wishes, sends deepest sympathies and wishes all the best to Jimmy's family. So rest in peace, indeed. And final one to Stiz Lanigan. Remember the Alamo and Queen's Park. So yeah, pretty good that one. Sean, your prediction for the night before we move over to the game?
Might as well. 1-0 Celtic, penalties.
1-0 Celtic, penalties.
Oh,
I'm not sure my heart could take that. You guys might have to run the full-time show if that's the case. Listen, I do want to thank every single person that stayed with us. We're up to 1,000 strong there as a stream. Lots of our regulars at Barazat and Design with Paul John Dykes, along with Quinny and Lawrence Conley there tonight. Hope everyone has a great time, enjoys the game, and hopefully there's something to celebrate at the end. We'll be back at half-time, so all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching Celtic State of Mind. Thank you, Sean Conley, and thank you, Kevin McCluskey. One out.
Nice one. Cheers, Chris.